Hello everyone and welcome to another mod tutorial. Today's mod tutorial is on one of my favourite mods called Mekanism. Now Mekanism is an awesome mod that adds different machines, different kinds of metals and different ways of generating power into your game, as well as cool explosives and some new items that you can play around with. So to start off with Mekanism, Mekanism features a new ore called osmium, which looks a bit like this. Osmium is a real metal in the periodic table, and once you smelt osmium ore, just gives you 1 bar of osmium, which is, you know, the basic stuff. You're also going to want a lot of this stuff, which is steel casing. The steel casing is made using 1 osmium and 4 steel. Quite simple, and it's used for pretty much every machine, like over there, what we'll be covering in a minute. Okay, so to start off with, this mod doesn't just add machines, it adds different kinds of armor and stuff as well. Firstly, this mod adds paxels. For those of you that don't know what a paxel is quite simply a combination of an axe, a pickaxe and a shovel in one tool. It conserves space, but it means that all of the durability of the tools is combined into one. So it's not the same, it's not like all the durabilities combined, it's just one durability. So it's not very good when it comes to, you know, efficiency, but it's very good at conserving space, and it's more practical. So what this mod adds is different kinds of tools and armor that you can make in the game. So using Mekanism, you can now make lapis armor, which isn't very good. I've organized this from best down there and worst up here, so we can make lapis armor in the same way that you would make normal armor. You can also make lapis tools in the same way, and next up you can make glowstone armor in exactly the same way, but it's made with a special substance called glowstone ingot, which is made with a special machine which I will show you in a minute. And you can make glowstone tools in the same way. Looks kind of like a gold sword. You can also make osmium armor in exactly the same way. That is what osmium looks like. And you can also make osmium tools. However, that's quite wasteful because osmium, you should save a lot of your osmium for your machines. Next up, you have something a bit stronger, which is bronze. And bronze is made from a combination of copper and tin. You can metallurgically infuse tin dust with copper. And there's a couple other ways, but it doesn't seem to want to show them. You can make copper tools in the same way. Next up, you have steel. Now, steel armor is a bit different. Steel was made by combining coal with iron. It's quite expensive, if I'm honest, but there are other ways of making steel as well. For example, smelting steel dust, which is made in a metallurgic infuser, which I will show you in a minute. And it's very tough, but it's not just made with steel, it's also made with iron, which can get a bit confusing at times. You can also make steel tools in the same way. I don't know why the handle is made of iron, that's really confusing. And last but not least, you can also make osmium armor. And osmium armor is made of obsidian. Obsidian armor. This is made quite obviously of obsidian, but obsidian ingots, which is also made in a special machine. And you can make obsidian tools in the same way, and obsidian paxels. They last a very long time, they last almost over double the amount that a diamond tool lasts. 3,000 durability, that's way more than a diamond tool, so that's fantastic. So that covers some of the armors and tools. That was an absolutely terrible demonstration, I'm sorry. But next up we come to something a bit more important. These are the cables that you're going to want to use in this mod. So, the first cable that you want to use is universal cable. Quite obviously, if you can't tell by looking at it, it's used to transfer electricity. It's capable of transferring industrial craft, buildcraft, and obviously joules from the Mekanism mod. And to make it, it's made with 2 steel and 1 redstone. It makes 8 cable, so it's pretty cheap, I'd say. Let's get rid of that. The second one, we've got a mechanical pipe. If you can't tell by looking at it, it transfers liquids, and it doesn't tell you what liquids they are. It's just liquids. It's capable of transferring water, lava, oil, fuel, different kinds of liquids that are present in the game. It is made with 2 steel and 1 bucket. This is in volts at the moment. Some crafting recipes do vary. For example, if you're playing Big Dig, the crafting recipe is osmium rather than steel, but it just depends on what you're using, really. And last but not least, we've got a pressurized tube. This one is capable of transferring gases. specifically oxygen and hydrogen, and it is made with 2 steel and 1 glass. You don't really need to transfer gases very often, but they're only used in one specific way of generating power, which I will show in a minute. We've also got this thing here, which is a electric pump. This uses power and pumps liquids through the mechanical pipes. It's made with 3 osmium, 1 bucket, 2 enriched alloy and 1 steel casing. Enriched alloy is something you're also going to want. It's used by smelting enriched iron, and enriched iron is made, oh whoop, crap, that's not how it's made at all. It's made by combining 1 iron with 1 redstone, which will give you 2 enriched iron. Okay, so now we have our cables and all our different tools and armor we can make, but now we need to find a way of storing the energy. So that's why we have these things, energy cubes. They are pretty obvious. They store energy, and to make, okay, so to start off, to make a basic energy cube, this stores the most littlest amount of energy. You need steel casing, 2 lapis, 4 redstone, and 2 energy tablets. An energy tablet, make sure it's empty, stores, no, not stores, sorry, it's made with 3 gold, 4 redstone, and 2 enriched alloy. A basic energy cube can store 2 megajoules. Each one doubles as it goes along. For example, the basic energy cube can store 2. The advanced energy cube can store 8. That's not double at all. I don't know why that's happened. I'm sorry, I'm rubbish at this. So just ignore what I said. Advanced energy cube is made with a basic energy cube, 2 gold, 4 enriched alloy, 2 energy tablets. And it can store 8 megajoules. Next one up is an elite energy cube, which is a nice shade of blue. This one is made with an advanced energy cube, 4 control circuits or basic circuits. This kind of combined with ICBM, and 2 diamonds and 2 energy tablets. This one can store 32 megajoules. And last but not least, we've got the ultimate energy cube, which stores absolutely loads of energy. It's made with 4 atomic cores, 2 energy tablets, 2 obsidian ingots, and 1 elite energy cube. So it's very expensive. An atomic core, something you want later on in the game, is made with 4 enriched alloy, 2 osmium dust, 2 dirty obsidian dust, and 1 diamond. This one stores 128 megajoules, which is a lot. It's the sort of energy you want to store if you are running nuclear power. For those of you who haven't seen my atomic science tutorial, I'd advise that you watch that if you want to make nuclear power, because that is present in volts. Okay, so now we have our power cables and our way of generating power, etc. So now we need to actually generate power. So the first way you want to generate power, the most simplest way of generating power, quite simply, is with a heat generator. Now this thing is, if you can't tell, it generates energy by smelting or like burning things such as coal and wood and different things like that. So as you can see, there's no fuel. It's connected to an ultimate energy cube, but if I place 1 bit of coal in it, and apparently I don't have any coal, so I'm just gonna do that, and I can't type either. This tutorial is going so badly. So if I get some coal and put 1 bit of coal in there, I did have coal, I didn't realise that. Get lost. Starts to slowly generate energy into the energy cube, whirling away with its own particle effects, but it will run out very quickly if you don't have a constant supply of the stuff. So that's a basic way of making power. To make a heat generator, you need 3 osmium, 2 enriched alloy, 1 enriched iron, 2 iron ingots, and 1 redstone. And next up, we've got something that most people will want to use because it's very energy efficient and doesn't require any resources at all. It's a solar generator. A solar generator is pretty obvious. It generates energy via the sun, so it will not generate energy during the night. And if there is a block above it, as I shall now demonstrate, it is now on. But if I put a block above it, it will turn off. There must be a nice space above it to reach the sun. Glass is acceptable because it's obviously see-through. To make a solar generator, you need 3 solar panels, 2 enriched alloy, 1 iron, 2 osmium dust, so they can't be made unless you have a crusher, which is used to crush ores, and an energy tablet. The solar panel is made with 3 glass panes, 2 redstone, 1 enriched starlight, and 3 osmium. So it's pretty expensive, but it does generate a decent amount of energy over time. But if you want to, you can go a bit more advanced than that, and you can make this thing. This is an advanced solar generator. It obviously is the same as a solar generator, but it generates much more power over a larger space. This one is made with 4 solar generators, 2 enriched alloy and 3 iron, and it generates a lot of energy, much more than this teeny tiny solar generator. Next up, we have this strange looking thing. This one is something that most people don't use very often. It is a biogenerator. And a biogenerator is interesting. It generates energy using biofuel. So if I put one bit of biofuel in here, it will take it up very quickly. It will generate a little bit of energy using this biofuel. Now biofuel is made using a crusher by crushing different bits and pieces of nature. So oak saplings, dead bushes. So if you ever collect all the dead bushes, they finally have a use. Different food sources, different saplings, seeds. So it's obviously a renewable resource, but it just requires lots of crushing. Okay, next up we have this thing, and this is pretty obvious. You can't tell, it's a wind turbine. And a wind turbine is made with 3 osmium, 1 enriched alloy, 2 energy tablets, and 1 control circuit. A control circuit is made with 1 enriched alloy and 4 osmium. Now this obviously generates energy via the wind and can run day and night, but does not generate very much energy. However, there's a strange glitch, as you might have already noticed. When it's generating energy, the turbines will turn. If it's not generating energy, for example, if there are blocks in front of it, it will not turn, signifying that, you need to shift the blocks. But there are no blocks in front of it, and it's not turning. And it's also generating energy, as you can clearly see. If I were to do the same thing and put it over here, it still doesn't spin. So that's very strange. However, one thing you must make a note of, if you want to use a wind turbine, the power can only come out of the front. It can't come out of the sides or the back. Okay, next up we have this strange complicated setup here, which is hydropower. This one's interesting. It uses water and turns the water into oxygen and hydrogen, turns the hydrogen into energy, and it generates a lot of energy. It's fantastic. It's the only one of these powers that actually requires a setup. Okay, so what this is, we have an electric pump that's pumping water through mechanical pipes into this thing here, which is an electrolytic separator. And what this is doing is it is slowly over time, it's filling up with hydrogen, but you can't see it because it's using it up so quickly. This is where all the water's filled up, and this is all the energy that's inputted into the electrolytic separator. To make an electrolytic separator, you need 1 electrolytic core, 2 enriched alloy, 2 redstone, and 4 iron. And what will happen is, once you've given it a suitable amount of energy, you only need to jump start it with a little bit of energy. You don't need a whole solar panel, but if you want to, you can. What you want to do, it will start filling up with both hydrogen and oxygen, because obviously water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen, and because it's H2O, you'll be getting much more hydrogen, double the amount of hydrogen that you'll be getting as oxygen. But we don't want the oxygen, because the oxygen doesn't do anything. So, by clicking this button here, we can dump either the hydrogen or the oxygen. So as you can see, it's now going to start filling with oxygen, unless we dump the oxygen, which is much more efficient. And we want to click this button here so that we can output the hydrogen into this thing through a pressurized tube, which will glow white if it's in use, with a hydrogen generator. Now this thing obviously generates energy if hydrogen is inputted. To make this thing, it's a bit more expensive. 1 electrolytic core, 2 steel casing, 2 enriched alloy, and 4 osmium. So that's all the different ways of making power that you can use in Mekanism. So now we're going to move on to the things that we actually want to use in Mekanism, the machines. These machines are fantastic. They do all kinds of different jobs for you that makes your life a whole lot easier, but you just need to know how to use them, and as long as you can supply them with a constant supply of energy, then you'll do fine. So, first thing, we need this thing, which is an energized smelter. It's simply, all it is a furnace just powered by energy, so it requires no coal whatsoever. It's made with 1 steel casing, 2 control circuits, 4 cobblestone and 2 glass. And if I put a piece of gold in here, it will quite simply smelt the gold. That's pretty simple, and it can be speeded up with a speed upgrade, which I will demonstrate in a moment. Ta-da, gold. And next up, we can make the energized furnace into, well, what's it called, so energized smelter, sorry, into a basic factory, which is the same thing, but it can smelt multiple items at once. And to make the basic factory, which if you hold shift you can tell which one it is, so this one's for smelting, it's made with the energized smelter, 2 enriched alloy, 2 gold dust, and 4 control circuits. And the next up from that is an advanced factory which can smelt 5 items at a time, which is actually fantastic. And this one is made with the basic factory for the whatever type you want it. So for example, for this one it would be smelting, with 2 diamond dust, 4 control circuits and 2 enriched alloy. And last but not least, we've got quite an interesting one. We've got the elite factory, which will smelt 7 items at a time. Now this one, you wouldn't really be smelting this many items at a time, if I'm honest, but it's just there. And to make this one, you'd need 2 atomic cores, 4 control circuits, 2 enriched alloy, and the factory that you want to use, the advanced factory. Next up, we've got a very helpful machine. We've got an enrichment chamber. Now an enrichment chamber is very helpful because if we put 1 ore in there, then what will happen over time is it will smelt this 1 ore and turn it into 2 of the dust that we want. And then we can smelt the 2 dust and turn it into 2 ingots. So it's effectively doubling what we've got. If you're familiar with TechIt, you'll know that this is similar to the macerator. To make the enrichment chamber, you need 4 enriched alloy, 2 control circuits, 2 redstone and 1 steel casing. This can be made into a basic factory and all the other factories in exactly the same way. You just need the enrichment chamber in the middle instead. So as you can see, they're all very similar, but this time it just says enriching in the middle. Okay, next up we have this thing, which is a crusher. I've mentioned this before. A crusher will simply crush your ores. Well, it won't crush ores, but it will crush ingots, and will eventually crush them into just 1 of the dust that you need. So to make a crusher, you need 4 redstone, 2 lava buckets, 1 steel casing and 2 control circuits. And just like the other 2, this can be made into a factory in exactly the same way. Okay, so those are all the basic machines and factories that you might want. Okay, next up we've got a couple of machines that you won't use as often, but they're still very useful for making special items in the game. So this one is an osmium compressor. This one's interesting because it uses osmium as fuel, and it will turn obsidian and glowstone into obsidian and glowstone ingots, which is what we wanted originally. So if I put some osmium in there and I find obsidian quickly, and then I place some in there, it doesn't do anything because it doesn't require obsidian, it requires obsidian dust. I think it's this one. No, it's the refined one. You need refined obsidian dust. There we go. And then you just slowly wear away until eventually you get obsidian ingot. So if you plan to make a full set of obsidian armor, then you're going to need a lot of obsidian to do so. Okay, next up we've got this thing, which is a combiner. This one, if you click on the middle tab, you can also find out what things you can do with all of these machines. This one will combine cobblestone with different dusts and different minerals to make the original ore, which is slightly pointless, but I think the only useful thing you can have with this is you can turn dirty obsidian dust back into obsidian. That's quite useful. So if I put 1 bit of cobblestone in here and turn some gold, I can't do that because I need like 8 gold, but I'm not going to bother doing that because that will take too long. Okay, next up, this one's very useful. This is a metallurgic infuser. And what this one will do, it will infuse 2 items together to make another item. So for example, if I put 1 piece of compressed carbon in here as fuel, and I put some enriched iron in here, it will whirl away, as you can see, with its own particle effects, and it will eventually give us some steel dust, which we can then turn into regular steel. Next up we have this oh wait, hold on, I haven't showing you the crafting recipes for these. Okay, to make an osmium compressor, you need 2 control circuits, 4 redstone, 1 steel casing, 2 glass. To make a combiner, you need 4 cobblestone, 2 redstone, 1 steel casing, and 2 control circuits. And to make a metallurgic infuser, you need 2 furnaces, 4 iron, and 1 enriched alloy, and 2 control circuits. Okay, next up we have a theoretical elementizer. This weird looking machine will fuse diamonds with any item that you put in there to create a special thing, which is either a weather orb or Steve's stopwatch. So, if I put a diamond in here and I put, for example, a piece of cobblestone in here, it will slowly make us a special item. You can speed this up by making a speed upgrade, which is made with 2 glass, 2 enriched alloy, and 1 osmium dust. So if I put the speed upgrade in this slot up here, it will increase the speed at which we do things. So you can see the speed. If you want to remove the speed upgrade, we just click this bit that says remove speed upgrade, and it'll give us the upgrade back. We'll just put it back in there like so, make it a bit faster because otherwise it will take too long. We now have a weather orb, so it'll make one of the two, and it will like always give us one of the two. So what these two do is quite simply they change either the weather or the time legitimately in the game. So if we want to click the weather orb, we click for example rain. It should start raining. There we go, it's raining now. And click clear and turn back to clear. We also have the Steve stopwatch, which will change the time. So for example, we want to change it to midnight, it'll be midnight, and we can change it back to sunrise. That's much more simple. Okay, next up we have, oh wait, hold on, no, theoretical elementizer requires a diamond block, 4 enriched alloy, and 4 glass blocks. So it's pretty expensive. Okay, next up we have a purification chamber. The purification chamber is made with 2 atomic cores, 4 control circuits, 1 steel casing as usual, and 2 enriched alloys. And what this thing does is it will purify substances and make clumps. So basically how it works is using lots of electricity, the clumps will turn into 3 of the original ingot. So we have 1 copper ore, we make 3 clumps, each clump is turned into dirty dust is turned into refined dust, and the refined dust is turned to the original ingot. It kind of looks like a brick. For example, if I put gold in here and I put, where's the flint that I had? There we go. Get well away, and let's put a speed upgrade in there to speed it up, and we'll make a gold clump. That's quite simple. Okay, next up we've got this thing, which is a charge pad. A charge pad. Hold on, I haven't shown you the crafting recipe for the purification chamber yet. Oh no, yeah, I did. Charge pad is made with 3 pressure plates, 2 steel, and 1 energy tablet. And what this does, if you stand on it, if you're wearing a modular power suit, it will charge your power suit for you. I mentioned modular power suits in one of my previous tutorials. So if you make this, you can just stand on it and it'll give you a slow amount of energy. Last but not least, we've got this thing here, which is an electric chest. It's a bit odd because there's no, you can't input energy using cables, you have to use batteries. But if I right click this, I have to enter a password. For the sake of this video, my password is just going to be my name, and then we can open the chest. And as you can see, it's locked, and we can just put all our valuable stuff in there if we want to. If I want to unlock the chest, I just press this button, and it will unlock, and I can open it at free will. And then I can lock it. If I type in the wrong password, for example, if it was without the capital T, it will just say it's invalid and just start again. You can also change the password by clicking edit password. But yeah, that's it. So it does require a battery, which you would have to put in this slot up here. Okay, so that's actually every single machine that you need to know about in Mekanism. So, what are we missing? Well, there's a couple of tools that you can make in the game as well that I've not mentioned. Okay, one of these is the electric bow. Electric bow is interesting because it's just like an ordinary bow. It fires an infinite amount of arrows, as long as you've got arrows. But by pressing a specific button, you can actually set the arrows on fire. But unfortunately, the game doesn't actually specify which button to press. So that's not very useful. It's just as powerful as any ordinary bow that you have. In fact, it's very powerful. It can go much further than an ordinary bow. Oh, I've got pretty good aim. Anyway, to make an electric bow, once you can figure out how the hell to use it, you need an energy tablet, 2 enriched alloy, and 3 string. And next up, we've got this thing, which is an atomic disassembler. So let me just go into survival, game mode S. God's sake, I hate this computer. Right, and now I'm going to try and mine this obsidian. If I right click the thingy, then it will change different efficiency. So if I put it to 0, I can't mine it at all. If I put it to 8, I mine it very slowly. If I put it to 64, it'll mine it very quickly. If I put it to the highest, which is 100, it'll mine it extremely quickly. But at the same time, it will use a lot of energy. So if I just absolutely spam the ground, even if it's very fast, it still can't destroy bedrock, of course. Those are the only 2 tools in Mekanism, but there's one more thing that I haven't mentioned yet. God's sake. The last thing I haven't mentioned yet is a special kind of TNT that you can use, which is called obsidian TNT. But before I say that, to make an atomic disassembler, you need 1 energy tablet, 1 obsidian ingot, 1 atomic core, and 4 enriched alloys. And lastly, to make obsidian TNT, you need 3 regular TNT and 6 obsidian surrounding it. And what obsidian TNT does, if you haven't guessed already, it's able to blow up obsidian, which is what TNT can't do. So let me grab my my flint and steel, set off like regular TNT, back away a little bit. As you can see, it's not caused much damage because all the damage was focused in blowing up the obsidian. But if we put it in a normal area, you can probably see it's already done tons of damage before. It'll blow up a much larger area, as you can clearly see. If this wasn't a flat world, it would clearly blow up a lot more. So let's just go crazy and just do a 2x2 and see what kind of effects we get from that. Much larger and much laggier, as you can clearly see. And frozen. Oh no, we're still going, oh good. Haha. See, much larger damage. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is practically everything that you'd need to know in Mekanism. I'm sorry I haven't been doing tutorials for so long, and that this one was so terrible. It's because I haven't done one in ages because I have so much work to do. But thanks a lot everyone for sticking by it, and see you later. Bye.